administration is shameful. Y'all are a disgrace.
We're watching the fall of this administration.
Yeah. I am about to address some things as the supervisor. There will be no comments, there will be anything. It'll just be me addressing you guys to tell you what's going on.
This is a scene straight out of a Hollywood drama, but it's happening in real life. Welcome to the small, scandal-ridden village of Dalton, Illinois, where a tale of power struggles, shady deals, and backstabbing is about to unfold. At the heart of it all is Deputy Chief Lacey, caught in the tangled web of Mayor Tiffany Henyard's unyielding quest for control.
Very appreciative to receive the information today. We have the best mayor ever. I've been here since 1993.
While most people imagine small towns as quiet, peaceful places where nothing much happens, Dalton is anything but ordinary. In fact, it's become the focus of attention for all the wrong reasons. What should have been a routine appointment for Deputy Chief quickly turned into a political firestorm, and it all began with Mayor Tiffany Henyard. You see, Henyard wasn't just looking for any average deputy chief when she handpicked Lacey. She needed someone who would follow her orders, someone she could control to maintain her tight grip on the village, and Lacey seemed like the perfect fit. But here's where it gets interesting. Lacey's appointment wasn't about his qualifications, skills, or dedication to the job. It was about loyalty. Henyard needed someone to enforce her controversial decisions, someone who wouldn't challenge her authority, and Lacey, he was more than willing to step into that role.
This month, the judge issued a temporary restraining order blocking her from making those appointments without approval from...
For anyone following the events in Dalton, it's no secret that Henyard's leadership has been anything but perfect. She's been embroiled in scandal after scandal, facing allegations of financial mismanagement, corruption, and outright abuse of power. And who has been right by her side, shielding her from scrutiny? You guessed it, Deputy Chief Lacey. Lacey wasn't some innocent bystander in all of this. He played an active role in making sure Henyard's plans unfolded without a hitch. According to rumors circulating through Dalton's notoriously active gossip mill, Lacey's main responsibility wasn't protecting the community, it was protecting Henyard at all costs. Whether it meant silencing critics, intimidating trustees who dared to stand up to her, or swiftly putting residents in their place for speaking out, Lacey was Henyard's enforcer, through and through.
Firm, we made sure they had one, and we also told our board to come upstairs due to the fact they had several ways to exit out of.
What's even more shocking is how this duo operated right under everyone's nose in broad daylight. Take the incident where Lacey allegedly pressured village trustees into backing down from decisions that could have exposed Henyard's financial dealings. The trustees reportedly felt immense pressure, with some even claiming they were subjected to veiled threats. And it wasn't just the trustees who took notice. Residents soon realized that Lacey wasn't exactly following the rules. Instead of prioritizing the safety of Dalton, it seemed his true mission was to ensure Henyard stayed unchallenged. But wait, it gets even more astonishing. The financial dealings between Henyard and Lacey weren't just about political favors, they involved serious money. Reports claim village funds were being misused left and right, but not for the benefit of the community. No, these funds were funneled into personal luxuries. For example, who in their right mind spends over $30,000 on Amazon with taxpayer money? Well, that's exactly what happened. Henyard and her inner circle, including Lacey, indulged in lavish spending sprees, treating public funds like their own personal piggy bank. And don't even get us started on the $85,000 spent on a party. Yes, you read that right, $85,000.
Tonight, Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is suing some village trustees over Monday's meeting.
Lacey was far from just a bystander. He was directly benefiting from the misuse of public funds as well. Henyard made sure her loyal deputy was handsomely rewarded, whether through lavish dinners, expensive gifts, or even cash under the table. Lacey was deeply embedded in Henyard's corrupt empire, enjoying all the perks that came with it, but like all things that seem too good to be true, the gravy train eventually came to a screeching halt.
I thank my two trustees, trustee Andrew Holmes and trustee Stan Brown.
Loyalty in politics is a delicate thing, and as Henyard's misdeeds began to catch up with her, her empire began to crumble from within. It didn't take long for key insiders, those who had once been close to both Henyard and Lacey, to turn against them. Whispers spread that Lacey wasn't as clean as he seemed. In fact, rumors began circulating that he had been involved in tax evasion, a revelation that only fueled an already blazing fire.
The judge today declining to hold her in contempt, but did warn her that if she did not follow the ruling, he would.
Then came the legal fallout. Lacey, who had once been Henyard's right-hand man, suddenly found himself under intense scrutiny. Investigations into the misuse of funds were intensifying, and Lacey's name was coming up more often than he was comfortable with. It didn't take long for court testimonies and legal documents to accumulate, revealing that both Henyard and Lacey had been far more deeply involved in shady dealings than anyone had initially suspected. As the walls closed in, insiders claimed that Lacey began to crack. He was no longer the cool, calm figure he once was. In fact, it said that he started cooperating with authorities in a desperate attempt to save himself. And just like that, the once loyal enforcer began to spill everything. But Lacey's downfall didn't stop with him revealing Henyard's secrets. Oh no, his own legal troubles were only just beginning. He soon found himself facing a barrage of accusations: tax evasion, misuse of public funds, and even allegations of civil rights violations. The police union, which had once stood by him, issued a statement calling for Lacey to be sentenced to life in prison for his actions. "We demand Lacey get life in prison and civil rights violations so corrupt." One comment from an outraged resident captured it perfectly. Lacey had burned too many bridges, and now the consequences were catching up to him faster than he could handle.
Can adhere to some financial limits. We're not looking to necessarily.
And let's not forget the big question everyone was asking: how was Lacey even sworn in? Was the process legitimate, or just another piece of Henyard's shady dealings? Rumors have been circulating for months, but it seems no one has ever gotten a clear answer. One resident even commented, "I know there was a prior question concerning the way he was sworn in. Was it ever settled?" It was yet another loose end in the tangled web of corruption that Dalton had become. As the truth began to surface, it was evident that Henyard's hold on the village was slipping. Her reputation was in tatters, and her once loyal enforcer, Lacey, now found himself facing charges of his own. It was a devastating fall from grace for both of them. Lacey, once seen as untouchable, now stood at the heart of a scandal that had rocked the village to its core.
This lawsuit, on top of all the other lawsuits, is a waste of the taxpayers.
But here's the real twist: this wasn't just about two individuals. The damage they caused to the village of Dalton went far beyond their personal downfalls. Henyard's actions, with Lacey's complicity, had undermined the very foundation of the community's trust in its leadership. Residents who had once believed in their local government now found themselves questioning everything. Who could they trust? How deep did the corruption go? And most importantly, how could they ever rebuild after all that had been exposed?
Investigator, I've got some books that's career. Inside I have from the United States District Courtroom and District.
The truth is, we may never fully grasp the extent of the damage, but one thing is clear: Dalton's residents are fed up. The village is now under federal investigation, with subpoenas flying and all eyes on what will happen next. Will Henyard and Lacey face significant jail time for their actions, or will they slip through the cracks like so many others in power? The lingering question remains: how deep does this corruption go, and how much longer can Henyard hold on before the entire house of cards collapses? For now, we can only wait and watch. But one thing is certain: the residents of Dalton deserve better. They deserve leaders who will prioritize their community, not exploit it for personal gain.
Court today over illegal appointments she allegedly made for several positions inside the village.
As the investigation continues, more skeletons are bound to emerge from the closet. Will we uncover additional backdoor deals or further misuse of funds? Who else from Henyard's inner circle will be implicated? It's clear this story is far from over, and with each new revelation, the extent of corruption in Dalton becomes more evident. For now, though, Henyard remains in office, desperately holding on to whatever power she has left. In fact, she's even announced her bid for a second term, despite the mountain of scandals piling up against her. In a statement posted online, she boldly declared, "Attention, attention, attention, I am running for re-election for mayor of Dalton." Can you believe that after everything that's unfolded, she still thinks she has a shot at holding on to power? The audacity is unbelievable.